Today I'm going to do a product review. A good friend of mine, Phil Page of Slug Industries, who you may know him as 6mm Phil, gave me a model from an upcoming Kickstarter way back at Salute, and I was blown away by the quality of it. And he contacted me recently and said, do you want me to send you some more models from the new Kickstarter to review? And I could hardly refuse, because I really enjoyed the original model, and I'm really excited to see the new models for the new Kickstarter, which has started already, but more details of that in the description below, and I'll put links to Phil's channel and to, as I say, to the Kickstarter, and there's a couple of other videos. I'll put some links in there as well. So the box arrived. I rushed home from work all sweaty poured because I was desperate to get in there looking now. I've already had a quick peek, and there's a nice set of little models in there. So we've got a stable, a wood store, coopers, a granary, thatched house, tillers, and it looks like some sort of kiln, some stores, and a really large model which I think is the merchant's house. So what I'm going to do, rather than spend my time here getting them out of noisy packets, I'm going to move that aside. I'm going to get my new revolving pad around, which I bought specifically for this purpose, so that I could show off these models to the best. So I'm going to get some detailed shots, tell you a little bit about the models, give you a chance to see these up close and personal, and we'll see how they are. So I'm going to start with the wood store. Very simple building, thatched roof, wooden walls, nice sturdy door, very crisply executed, very nice thatch. This is particularly the way I'm going to paint, which is going to be priming and then using things like contrast paints and inks to bring out, accentuate that detail. This is actually going to be a very easy building to paint up, and it even comes with a pile of lumber to go outside ready to be cut up in the wood store. Then we have a thatched house, again a very nicely done building with lots of nice little details. You know, it's a simple farm building, 2 stories just, but with a slight, you know, with an overhang. You know, the woodwork and the thatching is very nicely done. You know, you can see the layering of the thatch and so on, and again we'll paint up really nice with a bit of a loft space, perhaps an upper bedroom for the main people of the family, but a really nice little building that will sit nicely on any medieval games table. Then we have the tiller's house and a kiln. Now, the kiln is not something that I've seen represented in 6mm before, so this is you know, a nice little set of models here. Again, very nicely detailed around the kiln. You've got piles of bricks, and the thatch and so on the tiller's house is very nicely done. Some of the shutters, you know, sort of very well executed. Again, no flaws of any kind really. These models are going to be a doddle to paint, very quick wash, prime when they're dried, and then you're ready to go. So they're very nice tiller's house and a kiln to go with it. And as I say, the kiln's not something I've ever seen represented in 6mm, so very unusual and a very interesting model. So here we have a very nice little granary standing on top of some straddle to stones. The idea of the straddle stones is it meant that vermin couldn't get inside and eat the grain. So the whole building is literally on a set of stone stilts. And you know, again, very nicely executed with some really nice, very clear and sharply defined tiles on the roof, and the woodworking of the timbered building looks really nice. And there's even a pile of sacks outside waiting to be carried into the barn. And outside the door there's the ladder laying on the ground, again in a way that so that vermin can't climb up and get into the granary. So again, a very nice building that you don't often see, well, I've never seen represented in 6mm, and very rarely sometimes for other scales. So a really nice and interesting building to be included in a village set in 6mm. Then we have the stable. Now this is a lovely building, I really like this. Brick down one side, or stone, with half timbered around the rest of the building, a little flight of stairs up to an upper hayloft, for instance, and even a little water trough next to the stairs for the horses to drink from. And the door to the barn is ajar, welcoming people to bring their horses in. This is a lovely characterful model, again crisply executed, no flaws of any kind, really nicely done. And as I've said before, a quick wash with a detergent, let it dry, prime it, and you're ready to go with this model. And you know, it should be, the crispness of the detail makes painting these so much easier. But it's a really nice little characterful model. I really like this one. Now the next set of buildings are these sort of lean-to style sheds, if you like, that can actually be used up against the other buildings. So in particular, you can put it up against the barn, for instance. So these are two store buildings, like the equivalent of a shed, if you like, wattle and daub type material with a wooden frame and some tiled roofs. There's two in the set, and as I say, you can rest them up against other buildings to extend that building, or you can use them standalone. But I actually think these are very nice little models in their own right. Now we have the Cooper's workshop and his home. Again, really nice detailing here, very crisply executed. Again, no flaws whatsoever. This will be really nice to paint up. But what I really like about this model is the little details, the barrels outside, the door that's ajar. There's even what looks like curtains inside one of the windows. So, you know, depending on how you want to paint it up, I suppose you could paint it to look like a wooden door, or you could paint it to look like a set of curtains. I actually think these are really nice little details. I mean, often when you get doors on buildings on other 6mm scales, they're just flat with perhaps a bit of grain to show that it's a wooden door, but these look like doors. And so the little ajar door on this building is just a nice little feature with those barrels and stuff stuck outside. So that's the Cooper's building. Cooper's workshop and his home. So this is the merchant's house, really nicely detailed. I like the architectural details of those curved wood features on the outside of the house. That's just a little extra detail, shows that the building's slightly higher status. It's a much bigger building than the others. Perfectly executedly crisp tile work on the ceiling, on the roof, which will make for a really nice paint job in its own right. Yeah, you can do individual tiles, slightly different colours to show where tiles have been replaced over the years. But the detailing on this is absolutely lovely, you know, including the rough plaster work, which you can then paint whatever colour you want. And the thing that I really like about this building, and which is definitely next level madness, because you never see this in a 6mm building, or at least I never have, is the fact that it comes with an interior room complete with a workbench, shelves, cupboards, stuff on top of the cupboards, a bin, barrels in the corner, and of course wooded floors. You can add a light to the underside of the top part. You know, you cut a hole out and fix a little light in there to illuminate the interior. As I say, this is my sort of next level madness when you do this for a 6mm model. Now, of course, you could decide not to paint that, but I think you'd be missing out on a real joy to work on. And of course, you know, put that down on the table with the interior illuminated, and it's going to look absolutely awesome. This is a lovely model. There's a slight bit of extra resin around the bottom, but that will probably rub off with a finger or the edge of a blade. But other than that, there's no flaws on this model whatsoever. You know, no bubbles or lumps that you sometimes get with other brands. So again, minimal effort and then a bit of a wash, and then you're ready to prime. And this is going to be a really nice building, quite a big chunky building, with a bit of an overhang, to represent, you know, a high quality building for the merchant. So I actually think this is a very nice building. Like I say, the biggest one in the set, and worth the effort all of its own. So very nice indeed. And then of course you have the owl house. Now you may have seen this before. I've already painted this one up in a different paint style to the way that Phil's done his. He's done his much more naturalistic, probably much more realistic. I've gone with the classic black and white. And again, the owl house comes with an interior room, you know, complete with barrels and benches and so on. Just a lovely little extra added detail. And again, you can add some lights in here. I'll put a link in the description of a short video that Phil did showing this building with the light on, which is just amazing. It does looks really good. I've got to do it myself. This is going to, you know, if I could put that on the table with light inside streaming out through the doorway, I think it would just look amazing. So, you know, these are a lovely set of buildings. The actual Kickstarter will come with a set of figures as well, village folk. So you're going to have civilians, a couple of horses with carts and drivers and a dog, that sort of thing. Again, really nice little models. He hasn't sent me these ones because they're not ready yet, so I haven't got a copy. But I will post a picture of them in a moment. The village folk, they come with as part of the Kickstarter. Kickstarter has already started. There is, I think there's another week and a half to go. I urge you to have a look and give it a go, because I think these are just an amazing set of buildings. Looking like they're going to be well worth investing in the Kickstarter. It's saying there's already been one set out, so this is sort of like a complimentary, a second set. But the detailing, the quality of these is really nice. They're described as handcrafted military quality, quality buildings, and I can't disagree, because they are wonderful detail. Well worth the effort and the money, I think. And they'll grace anyone's 6mm war games table. So there you have it. So these models represent the models that he had available right now. There are some additional pieces that are available in the Kickstarter, so go and have a look at that. But you know, the models that I've seen here, I am really blown away by the quality of them. The resin is really nice, the exceptional quality. You know, Phil did say to me that he weeds out any of the errors. So what you end up getting as a product is top quality. So there's, you know, on all of these models there wasn't a single flaw. You know, maybe a little bit of additional resin around the base that can be rubbed off very quickly with the edge of the knife, but no bubbles, no lumps, nothing that really needs cleaning beyond the most cursory bit of work before you wash them and prime them. So these are going to be really quick to get ready, and the quality on them, the detailing is really nice, and there's some nice characterful buildings here, buildings that you don't see in other settings, like the granary for instance, or indeed the kiln. You know, models that you don't normally get to see even in larger scales, let alone in 6mm. And of course the interior detailing on buildings like the merchant's house or the merchant's building is just like, it's a level of 6mm insanity that I absolutely love, and I completely come to expect from 6mm Phil. So please, I'll leave the details in the description below. Go and have a look at his Kickstarter. I strongly urge you to support him, because his first set went like hotcakes. You know, I wasn't able to get the original set because it sold out when I was having a shop around. So get in there early, sign up for the Kickstarter and support an excellent set of products. These are probably the best 6mm buildings that I've seen on the market for a long time.